Hi everyone, Austin Farnham here with Palin Music. Very excited to be here with the Selmer Supreme. This is the next in line, the next generation of professional line saxophones by Selmer Paris. Beautiful looking and playing instrument. We're going to dive into some details today, and I want to explain to you why I think you should check this horn out. So first off, just the design work on this instrument. Selmer says this is the best saxophone that they have ever produced, and I happen to agree for several reasons. So one thing is the design in every element of this saxophone, starting from the neck down, has been tweaked, reworked into some subtle but highly effective differences. So like I said, the neck has been redesigned. The ring here, the clamp for the neck, is actually sort of its own free-floating piece. So if you loosen this, it actually moves. It does not pull off, or at least I was not able to pull it off, so you don't have to worry about that. But what it does is it actually adds sort of a beveled sort of area where the neck and the clamp and the body work together in this three-piece system, which is new, but it creates more metal-on-metal contact, which is great for resonance in an instrument. The key system, everything's a little more sleek, a little more modern. It's all subtle and not anything that's like unattractive by any means. It's just different and in a sort of a pleasing way, I would say. The tone holes throughout the body have been reworked and repositioned ever so slightly to create the most in-tune horn I have ever played. And if you listen to any other review on this saxophone, that is what they rave about, and I totally agree. The intonation on this instrument is just, I've never played anything quite like it. Especially in comparison to some of the vintage Selmers that I've played, amazing, highly regarded Mark VI, as amazing as it is tricky with intonation, to say the least. So it is an impressive accomplishment for a saxophone. I truly think this is a benchmark level instrument when it comes to intonation and playability. As we work our way down, we get into sort of the engravings, which, by the way, this is sort of a dark gold. It's not like that yellowy look to it. I really love the look of this particular lacquer with these hand-engraved flowers and then these metallic cubes, which are meant to represent, I guess, like the molecular level of metal is what it says on the website. But overall, it's very cool. The flowers, it's a standard look for Selmer engraving marks on a bell, but they're sort of updated in this sort of modern-looking piece of art on your saxophone. And not only is it on the bell, it actually works all the way up to the top of the body on the horn. The key guards, like everything is just slightly reshaped and a little, like it looks thinner or more streamlined in a way, but this is what I would say is a very heavy alto, and for whatever neck strain that may cause or anything, it's well worth it because this is just a great sounding and playing instrument. I will say throughout this video, as I do playing examples and at the beginning, I'm kind of leaning into this sort of classical feel, and that was totally unintentional. It just has such a hyper-focused sound throughout the horn that I just, for whatever reason, like I'm a jazz player and I want to sound like a classical saxophonist right now because it just has that feel to it. I will say I've watched other people play this instrument, and jazz players and classical players, they both rave about this instrument, specifically for that wonderful intonation, but just the flexibility and sound. And I really recommend that if you're seriously considering this instrument, go and listen to a bunch of different players on this horn, and you will be blown away with how different this instrument can sound. But for me, I feel like my sound, like if I were going to buy this horn, I would buy it for classical use. And if you're somebody who goes and plays, both sides of that, if you're especially like, those of you who are in school, college, high school, you're kind of doing jazz band or you're doing the classical side of things as well, it's not just a great horn for that, it is like the horn for that. There's nothing better in my opinion. I'm very impressed with what Selmer has produced. So let's jump in and do a little bit more playing, and I'm just going to kind of go all over the place. I'm really trying to test out intonation and just ease of playing, and as well as like some alternate fingerings and just hearing the difference there. Yeah, so for those of you that are, familiar with how false fingerings, but alternate fingerings work, it's really impressive. That side D still doesn't sound great, but the palm key D never sounds great on any saxophone, to be fair. But the fork F to palm key F, like, that's one I use all the time. And on my Mark VI, I actually have to sort of make my own weird little fingering to make that sucker play in tune. But this thing, just listen to the how alike they sound. That C to side C is impressive to me. And not that I really use those alternate fingerings all that often, but certain music requires it, or it makes it a lot easier to play a passage with alternate fingerings, and you can just jump right into it, which is a really nice thing to consider if you're looking at this horn. The thing that I think made me want to be a tenor player more than an alto player I've always struggled with the low end of the horn on an alto. For whatever reason, the B flats, Bs, C sharps, like they just don't speak very easily. And this thing, it just, it just resonates. It resonates and it comes out so easily. It makes me want to play classical saxophone all the time, which is something I never thought I would say. But it really is just fun to play. And when you find instruments that are fun to play, you should buy them, because it's not the case with every saxophone. The precision in this instrument, it's just, it's magnificent. I don't know, like, that seems like such a corny word to say, but it's just like, that's what comes to mind. It is supreme. There we go, that's the word, supreme. Yeah, so I'm a really big fan of this horn. Not only do you get a great saxophone, but you get the concept mouthpiece, which is one of their top-tier classical saxophone mouthpieces. Comes with the ligature, the cap, the neck strap. The case is a beautiful hard-shell, angular, modern, sleek-looking thing that it will protect your saxophone. Hard-shell case on the outside, but you also get the backpack straps, lots of storage options. It even has, despite being a form-fitting case, you still have room, a specific slot for your neck and mouthpiece, which is great. And you even get a handy-dandy little pouch. Yeah, so all around, this is truly a top-tier instrument. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again, benchmark level saxophone. I truly believe that this is a horn that will be as revered as the Mark VI when it comes to playability and intonation. It's unreal, I'm telling you. You have to play it to see what I'm talking about, because it is no joke. So you can check out this very saxophone at palinmusic.com, or you can visit anytime at the Palin Music Center's across the land. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please check out more of our instruments, other saxophones for your specific saxophone needs, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.